Are you confused what augments to take and when to reroll? Well, hopefully by the end of this video, you will understand. In this video, using the timestamps below, I will go over each class type of champions, going through the augments you should always pick, what are usually good, what are champion slash matchup specific, and what you should probably reroll unless you're low on rerolls. Here are all the augments in the game. You can screenshot and put it on a second monitor or something, so it'll make it easier for you to read my tier lists. Yeah, it was just too small to put on the screen with the tier list, so I just decided to do this way. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the video to help me out, and let's begin. Okay, for the Mage tree. So, for the pick tier, we have this first one, makes it so that your abilities put a burn on the enemy and reduce your cooldowns while they're burning. Super good to combo with Liandry slash Demonic Embrace, so you can just roll through your cooldowns. This one makes it so that your abilities can crit. Super good with the new Mage crit item, making it so that you can start one-shotting enemies when you hit them with abilities. This one makes it so your ultimate refreshes, which is super good because mages have usually good ultimates. And now for some gold ones, this one increases your move speed based on double your ability haste, which is good because mages are mobile and it fixes that weakness. This one gives you 25% magic pen, which is just super good on mages. This one gives you 60 ability haste, which because mages tend to go full damage builds with Death Cap and Shadow Flame, this will help soften up that ability haste you're losing. This one's tank it or leave it. It's actually just one of the best runes in the game. It makes it so you can critically defend where you take 40% reduced damage. And also if you get this one and that, it's super good combo, but in general, you should just take it with the Mage crit item. This one makes it so that your abilities put stacking armor and magic resist shred on the enemy. Again, with your AoE and long range spread spells that you can apply for your ally too, super good. Ocean Soul I put in tier 1 because of the fact that you're again poking with long range spells, you can heal yourself up. And Contract is just really good right now because it marks an enemy by 10% more damage, which just helps you and your ally, and you get extra gold for killing them, which means you can snowball your lead to get early extra items and snowball your game. For the usually good tier, this first one, it's like scientific or whatever. It basically makes it so each round you either get two different buffs. The first one's HP or AP, which is like basically like a mini death cap, or it gives you a bunch of move speed and ability haste where you literally can't get hit by the enemy because you're moving so fast and casting spells. Super good for mages, either one you get. True Shot Barrage, it casts an Ezreal ult whenever you hit a long range spell, just really good for hitting some poke. Omni Soul, really good because it just gives you 3 random souls and they're all pretty good. I usually hope that I get an Ocean Soul in there. Goliath just gives you HP and AP, like a mini death cap, kind of like this one, except it's always the HP or AP one. And this one increases your ability haste based on 20% of your AP, which is really good because again, if you're going a full damage one-shot build, you can get a bunch of ability haste combo with that, so you can rinse through your abilities. Okay, Boomerang, I really like this on mages because of the fact that you're usually playing at long range and it'll keep going out and poking the enemy. And if you get Liandry's and Rylai's and stuff, it'll apply that on the enemy and do a lot of work. This one heals you for a certain percent of your HP when you drop row. Really good just because of the really good because of the fact that, you know, it's just a defensive that helps you. Same with this one, OK Barrier. I just took it because, again, you know, mages just kind of need that survivability and it gives you barrier slash heal. Banner of Command, you can pop it to give your ally more damage when they're going in. To be honest, I should have put this in champ slash matchup specific because of the fact that it's not very good if you have a tank with you, you know, but it is what it is. Usually good Morgana's Shield. I put this in usually good for every tier. It's just usually good, you know. At the start of the round, you can play aggressive and can't get hit by CC. This one increases your HP by half your mana, which is good because usually you're going for Liandry's or Ludens. This one gives you and your ally a free juice every round, which has actually got good win rates. It's pretty good because, you know, every round, if you're getting a juice, it's going to be giving you and your ally just a bunch of free stats, which is actually really good for winning rounds and just snowballing. This one, it makes it so that your damage over time effects can crit. It's usually pretty good if you're going Liandry's, and it's really good if you get this crit one comboed and you're just increasing your crit. But again, I would take this if I was going Liandry's or a burn mage, and you just combo that with the AP crit item. This one just gives you executioners, just increases your damage when they're low. This one, if I do recall, knocks enemies away when you get low HP, so usually pretty good because as a mage, melees are jumping on you, you get low, it knocks them off, you can CC them off you. This one gives you 70 AP, generally just a pretty decent one, especially if you get this and you get Death Cap to amplify it. And Infernal Soul, pretty good because, you know, you're just poking from range and applying this to hurt the enemy. For champ slash matchup specific, Blade Waltz is kind of like old Fiora ult. You pop it, you go in the enemy, start doing damage, and you come out at a random spot. Super good defensively if you're facing assassins to dodge their one shot. This gives you exhaust slash ignite, really good against versus assassins. This one makes it so every round you gain 1 extra level. Super good if you get it early game. If you're getting it late game, it's not that good, but early game, if you get this on your first augment, it's pretty good because you can start stacking up extra levels and you can go past the level cap, so you can end up getting in the 20s levels. This one gives you Zanya's. Zanya's is pretty not great. It's pretty meh. I probably should have put it on reroll. It gets rid of your summoner spell Flee, which gives you move speed. And Zanya's, you know, you can just buy Zanya's, and Zanya's, when you come out of Zanya's, that enemy will kill you. It's kind of just a worse version of Waltz, which when you come out in a random spot, you can't just die. This one makes it so that your ultimate makes you invincible, pretty good in certain matchups / champions with specific ultimates. Vanish, really good because if enemies jump on you, you can vanish, sneak away, and come out of stealth, or you can use it at the start of rounds and come out of stealth. For instance, you can be playing Ari, go stealth, walk up into melee range of the enemy and hit them with a charm one shot. This one makes it when you're walking around, you're healing. So if you're kiting around as a mage a lot, you can just heal. This one gives you first strike / dark harvest. Probably should have put in usually good, but you know, if you're getting outranged by the enemy, it's gonna be hard to proc the first strike. This one I haven't really tested much, but I just put it here because it's got good win rates. It just marks the enemy and does damage when your ally hits it. This one gives you Kindred Ult, pretty good versus Assassins. Phase Rush, honestly, could be in the usually good, depends on the champion you're playing, but you know, you combo an enemy and can kite back with it. This one makes it so you heal after casting spells, really good with champions with low cooldowns. For instance, Cassio spamming her E and you're healing over and over again. This one makes it, again, stacks your AP when you cast spells. Again, good with people like Cassio who's spamming their E over and over again. This one makes it you can buy as many mythics as you want in the game. Pretty good if you, like, for instance, are facing a lot of assassins and you want to pick up a Shattered Queen later in the game and you get this, it can be good. Warm Up makes it at the start of the round. You can channel to do up to 24% bonus damage. Pretty decent if you're in a lobby where the enemy's not going to be able to rush you right away and you can sit back and just channel this. This one makes it so you do more damage to enemies who move faster than you, which again, immobile mages who are usually getting slowed and CC'd by enemies can be pretty decent. This one makes it when you use a slow on the enemy, it reduces their move speed by an extra 100. So pretty good on any of those Rylai's abusers or champions with slows in their kit. Mountain Soul, you know, could put it in usually good, but I felt like it was just worse than all these other ones in usually good, so I put it down here. But again, versus Assassins and stuff, pretty good. Quantum Computing just puts a big circle damage around you. You could put this like up higher. It actually does a lot of damage, but like it's not really what you're looking for on a mage, so I put it down in the reroll. This one makes it so that every time you use an ability, it stacks ability haste, and it's pretty terrible. It's basically bad on everyone. The only person it's good on is like Nico, because it like bugs where every time you cast your W, like keep moving it, it stacks it up so you can stack up really high. But because you lose all the ability haste between rounds, it's actually not really considered that good. This one makes it so your auto attacks reduce your cooldowns. You don't really auto on mages. This one trades your HP to heal an ally. You don't really want to do that on a mage again. This one is Comet / Area. I don't know why I put it down here. I should have put it in usually good. I made this tier list 2 days ago, but I've tested it. It does a lot of damage. It's pretty good. So yeah, Comet and Area I'd probably put up higher if I were to redo this. Shrink Ray, not very good. Most mages don't auto attack, but if you are playing one, you could take it. Same with Scope Weapons, which gives you longer auto attack range. This one reduces the cooldown of your item effects. I mean, it's okay for like a Zanya's. It puts your Zanya's on an 8-second cooldown, and you know, you can get your Ludens on a lower cooldown. But in general, like I would probably just reroll this for like anything above that's better. But if you have no rerolls left, you know, take that. Blitzcrank Hook, pretty terrible. Most of the times you're gonna end up hooking like melees into you and getting yourself killed. But if you're facing a full lobby of squishies, or like you're in final 2 and you get this as an augment versus a team of squishies, it could come in the clutch. These two are like crit augments. I forget which one's which, but don't take these unless you get any. You get Tank It or Leave It, the Druid, or you get this one. If you get any of these 3 crit ones up here, you can play off of this. But if you don't get those, I would probably not get this. This one gives you a Thresh Lantern. It's just, you know, it's a Thresh Lantern. It's pretty. You don't get to pick when it goes out. It's kind of random. Red / blue buff is pretty terrible on everyone, but like if you're playing Cassiopeia, who has a problem with ooming early, you could take it. I don't know. This gives you an Anivia wall, which is like, you know, okay if you're versus a full team of immobiles, but like most teams aren't like that. Castle lets you swap places with your ally. Not the greatest for most mages, but there are some fun combos. Like for instance on Nico, you can have your ally go in, and then you can Nico ult and swap. So pretty fun. And I don't even remember what this one is, but you should probably just not take it. Okay, for ADC tier list, and ADCs are very strong in this game mode, by the way, so if you like ADC, you should play it. So to start off, one thing I wanted you to notice is for Prismatic, there's only actually one top tier Prismatic augment for ADC. So this is the one role that you do not want to be re-rolling Prismatics. For ADC, you usually want to try and take what you get unless there's nothing even usable, because ADC actually has really, really good silver and gold augments, and you want to be re-rolling these more likely to try and get something good rather than your Prismatic. That being said, let's start. So the first one is Tap Dancer. It basically converts every time you auto attack, you get move speed, and it converts your move speed into attack speed or something like that. So basically, because you attack so quick, you just start to get crazy amounts of move speed and attack speed, and you're just moving all over the place. Scope Weapons, probably the best augment in the game, period. It makes it so that you just attack from really long range. This should probably be a prismatic if I were to do anything about it, but yeah, this is just broken. Take it instantly when you see it. This one reduces their pet, gives you 25% magic and armor pen, super good, especially since a lot of these ADCs have like split damage now with like Kog'Maw, Twitch, Kai'Sa. These are some top ADCs, super good. This one gives you, I think, your attack speed converted into AD, which is super good because ADC scale with AD and they also build attack speed. This one makes it so every 4th auto does a bunch of damage, super good. This one reduces the target's magic resistance and armor. This one, Typhoon, is like a little hurricane. Every auto attack spreads to another target with 30%, I think, AD ratio and applies on hit. Super good because Bork is really good right now, and if you get this with Bork, you're applying Bork on 2 targets. Contract Killer, just one of the best augments in the game right now. It just marks someone for 10% extra damage they take for the round by you and your ally, and when they die, you get extra gold, which means you can scale quicker, and as ADC, scaling quicker is all you really want. Alright, this one is Execute, and it gives you just extra damage when they're low. I forget which ones these are each, but they're basically, one gives you 10% AD, the other one gives you, I think this is the 50% attack speed, and this one down here is the 10% extra AD. Pretty good stuff for ADCs. Lethal Tempo Conquer, it's pretty good. Obviously, Lethal Tempo and Conquer is good, but it's not like amazing or anything, but it's just usually good, and I mean, ADCs don't really have great stuff, so take it. Exhaust can be good versus some Assassins. Omni Soul is just usually pretty good on everyone. This one gives you free level every single round. If you get it early, it's pretty good. And yeah, you just want to be leveling up and getting ahead of the curve as ADC. Mad Scientist makes you either move really quick and get low CDR, or gives you a big steroid to your ability, your AD and HP. Shrink Ray, amazing. Again, look at, wow, we're getting out of the all these prismatics, meh. We get into the gold, the first one, amazing. I don't even know why I didn't put this in pick. This is a pick for sure. Shrink Ray reduces the enemy's damage by 15% when you auto attack them, which with Typhoon, you can be applying it on 2 people, or if you build Hurricane, which I would with this, you're applying it on 2 people, reducing their damage. This one converts your ability haste into move speed. Not the greatest, to be honest. I should have put it down here. Most ADCs don't get much ability haste, but it's really good if you're doing an ability haste build. This one makes it so when you drop low, you heal for a percent of your HP, pretty good. Barrier/heal. This one makes it so your auto attacks will apply an indefinitely stacking burn on the enemy per auto based on HP. So as you keep attacking the enemy, the burn gets more and more, and even if they try to run away from you, they'll just burn out over time. Like I said before, this one gives you 10% AD. Morgana Black Shield, really good to survive the early lane if they have like something like a Wukong who's going to try to run you down, and you can Black Shield his ultimate. This one knocks enemies away when you get low. Ocean Soul, Infernal Soul, Mountain Soul, all pretty decent. Blade Waltz, really good for avoiding one-shots and stuff, and Assassins, as you can Blade Waltz into them and dodge everything and come out. This one makes it so that I think it's your auto attacks give you ability power, and your abilities give you attack damage. You know, if you're playing someone who scales with AP, for instance, Kog'Maw, Twitch, Kai'Sa, any of these AP scaling ADs where you can now be stacking your ability power and AD and you're getting use out of both, pretty good. But for any traditional ADCs that have no AP ratios, it's not, you know, very much goodness on that. This one makes your ultimate make you go invincible, pretty good if you're playing an ADC with a good ultimate that you like Kai'Sa ult in, right? Even Kog'Maw ult, it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good on most ADCs, but you don't always want it, you know, so put it down there. This one makes it so your abilities can crit. First of all, I put it down here because most ADCs in the meta right now are going Rage Blade, and Rage Blade makes it so you cannot crit, making this not very good. But if you're going a crit ADC who has great abilities, for instance, Lucian loves this, right? Lucian goes crit, and he also loves to do, you know, ability damage like your ultimate critting, so pretty good. This one, I think, makes it so that your dash leaves like a freaking... No, this one makes it so that you get 150 ability haste on your dash abilities, so pretty good for ADCs with mobile spells, Lucian E, Ezreal E, right? I think maybe even Kai'Sa E it might apply. Pretty good. This one makes it so that you get 2 casts of your ultimate, I do believe. And, you know, it's pretty good. Depends on your ultimate. For instance, Kog'Maw, you would never want this. Pretty good on Kai'Sa. You know, for someone like, for instance, Twitch, you'd probably rather get something else because you just kind of want to kill them in your first ult, but, you know, depends. This one makes it so movement abilities give you stacking ability, armor, magic resist and stuff, you know, pretty good if you have a low cooldown dash, like, for instance, if you're Lucian with this, or if you got this on it, like a Lucian plus this, you can get a lot of tankiness. Vanish, so the enemy can't just like one shot. You can go stealth and come back open when you're in a good position. This one gives you health as you move around over time. Really good for ADCs who have a lot of move speed and kite. Brutalizer, you know, it gives you 25 AD, some ability haste, and some lethality. Not really the greatest thing, but you know, it's a good way to snowball if you get it early. These double crit ones, I put them here because of the fact that, again, most ADCs are going Rage Blade, but if you are going a crit ADC, these are pretty good. Tank it or leave it, again. It's a crit rune, and most ADCs are going Rage Blade, so I put it here. But if you're going to crit ADC, this rune here is like reroll tier if you're going Rage Blade. But if you're going crit ADC, this is literally pick tier. Like, you always take this. It's super good. So, yeah. This one makes it so that you increase your HP based on half your mana. You know, if you're getting a lot of, for instance, mana immune ADCs, pretty good. Warm up makes it so you can channel it to do bonus damage. Honestly, ADCs do a lot of damage. I probably would have put this in reroll because you don't really want to lose your Flea Summoner spell for this. This one makes it so you get move speed after using a dash. Pretty good for ADCs with dashes. This one makes it so that your items and stuff can crit. Pretty good if you're going crit ADCs again. This one, if the enemy moves quicker, then you do more damage. Again, if you're facing a lobby where people have a lot of slows and it's going to be hard for you to kite, it'll be pretty good. This one gives you 70 AP. Again, if you're playing an ADC with AP ratios, like Kog'Maw can be okay. And this one is actually pretty fun. It's got a really low win rate, but it's good at, for instance, on Ezreal. It makes it so when you're using a dash, if you use this, you go back to where your dash was, like LeBlanc W. So you can like Ezreal E4s and hit some spells, and when they jump on you, you can go back to that. So pretty cool. And rerolls, this one makes it so that your dashes leave an earthquake behind. You should never really take this. This one makes it your abilities burn the enemy and lower your cooldowns as they're burning. Don't really want this. This one makes it so that you have Zhonya's. Pretty terrible for ADC, to be honest, because you're just going to come out of Zhonya's and die. Your auto attacks reduce your cooldowns by 1 second. This one honestly could have gone into champ slash matchup specific. For instance, Ezreal, when you hit a Q and just keep your Q off cooldown, you just spam Q with it never being on cooldown. And you know, some ADCs like Lucian with his double auto and rinsing through stuff, it's not bad. True Shot Barrage, unless you're playing like Ezreal, for instance, you're not really playing ADCs for poke. You're playing them for your like sustained DPS and all-in damage, so it doesn't really synergize what you want to do. Trade some of your HP for life for your ally. Not very good unless, you know, your ally is always going to be the kill target and you get this. Boomerang, again, it's like the True Shot Barrage. You're not really playing ADCs for poke. It doesn't really matter. Banner of Command, if you have an ally who's like, for instance, you're playing an ADC with a Twitch, you can like Banner Command the Twitch too, but pretty terrible. This one applies your on-hit effects on your abilities with a cooldown of 1 second. Again, it's okay on some ADCs, but it's just not very good. Searing, not very good. Kindred ult you would think is good on ADC, but a lot of the time if you're an ADC who gets low in a Kindred ult, you usually just die right out of it. It doesn't even have the heal like Kindred ult, so it's like, eh. It gives you 60 ability haste. Alright, but ADCs don't really care about ability haste. Fleet slash Grasp, I mean, it's just a terrible rune in general. Its win rate's really low. This one makes it so you can build multiple mythics. ADCs don't really need this. Like, most of the time, they get their one mythic. They don't want any other ones. The Juice, to be honest, could have gone, like, a bit higher. It's actually pretty decent because it just... Alright, the Enchanter tier list. So the first three, these three are all like just giga broken. I forget which each of them are because they got look similar, but one of them makes it so that when you shield or heal an ally, they get extra resistances and stuff. One of them makes it so that when you heal or shield an ally, it does a portion of that heal and shield as damage around the enemy. And this middle one, Spirit Link, makes it so that 40% of the damage your ally take is redirected to you, and 40% of the healing they get is redirected to you. So for instance, if you're playing Soraka, your ADC is taking damage and you're taking the damage instead, and as you heal your ADC, you're healing yourself. Pretty broken, self-explanatory. This one, Willing Sacrifice, is amazing. It makes it so when your ally gets low, it transfers a portion of your HP to give them a big shield. This one gives you move speed based on double your CDR. Enchanters, they just love to get, you know, CDR, so you just move super fast and get uncatchable so the enemy can never kill you. Banner of Command as your ADC or carry. I should say carry. You don't have to play supports with ADCs. You can play them with any carries. As they're going in to do damage, you banner command them to increase their damage. All right, just quickly check because I couldn't remember what this was, and I was like, wait, it's literally the same as the prismatic one. It also just healing and shielding does damage to enemies around and slows them, pretty similar to the prismatic one. This one reduces enemies' magic resistant armor. Contract Killer, just amazing, marks an enemy to take 10% more damage from your carry, and they get extra gold for killing it, which means they can snowball and get more items. Free Juice is pretty good because you're just giving your carry free stats that they can use to carry. Omnisoul, pretty good usually. Just take it on everyone. It's just pretty good. That's why I put it there. This one usually good, gives you a free level per level. I don't know why I put this here, to be honest. First, honestly, for support, I would probably just put this in reroll. Now that I'm looking at this again, I made this tier list a couple days ago. You usually don't want to take this past early levels too, because the early levels, it gives you a level one level per round. If you get it late game, it's not very good. So I would never put this in usually good. I don't know why I put that there. I think it's worse than most of the stuff shown. So Old self, what did you doing, bro? This one gives you double cast ultimate. This one is amazing on most supports. To be honest, probably could be in the pick tier, but I just left these 3 because these are like Enchanter-esque. This one gives you exhaust / ignite, pretty good, as you can use it as an anti-heal option and, you know, exhaust to save your ally. This one, if you get low, it heals you, so that makes it hard for the enemy to target you. Plus, if you're getting Moonstone and the enemy targets you, as it's healing yourself, it's healing your ally. Barrier / heal. This one gives you 60 ability haste, pretty self-explanatory. Healed in combat, and keep yourself topped, especially on someone like Soraka. Not bad. To be honest, I'd probably put in down a tier, but it is what it is. This one, when you get low, it knocks enemies away, so making it hard for enemies to kill you, because as long as you're alive as an enchanter, you're probably going to win. This one gives you either a crap load of, I'd probably move this up and that one down. This one gives you a crap load of, each round you get either 1 or 2 buffs. It either gives you a crap load of HP and ability power, or it gives you a crap load of move speed and ability haste, so you're like just uncatchable and low cooldowns. This one makes it so your ultimate makes you go invulnerable. Pretty good if the enemy has assassins and are trying to target you. Blade Waltz, again, if it's enemies trying to target you, pretty good. Chauffeur, honestly pretty fun for enchanters because you don't really, it links you to an ally. It's pretty terrible on most champs, but enchanters are the best ones for it. It basically makes every enchanter a Yuumi. So yeah, you can just get attacks to your ally. It gives your ally extra stats and you can just sit there and buff them. Vanish, okay if the enemy's got assassins trying to target you. Shrink Ray, pretty decent. You have to make sure you're auto-attacking the enemy, but auto-attack enemies attacking your AD and it'll reduce their damage. This one, when you attack enemies, it'll make your AD do more damage when they hit them. This one gives you Kindred Ult, can be pretty good as your AD is about to die. You can Kindred Ult, and then out of the Kindred Ult, you can Redemption and use your shields and stuff so your AD doesn't die and they can kill the enemy, or your carry, not your AD. This one reduces your items cooldowns, so you can so they get really low, so you can use redemptions 3 times in a round. This one increases your HP by 1,000, reduces your damage by 10%. To be honest, it's kind of a reroll tier. Reducing your damage by 10% is not the greatest, but I mean, if you're getting it early game, I wouldn't think it's the greatest because you don't want to lose your damage, but late game, 10% damage on Enchanter doesn't matter, so it depends at what point in the game you're getting this. Tank it or leave it, one of the best augments in the game in general. You should just take it if you're getting targeted, but in general, it's not really going to help your ally, it's more to help yourself. Increases your mana by half your HP by half your mana, pretty good again if you're getting targeted. 70 AP if you have a champion with good AP ratios and stuff, or it's just, decent, it's 70 AP. Your slowing effects reduce their slows by their move speed by an extra 100, pretty good. Use Sona E an enemy, and now all of a sudden, on top of the regular slow, they're getting minus 100 move speed on top of that. Infernal Soul is okay if you get it really early game, as your first augment, it can help you win some early rounds, and because most Enchanter plus carry roll comps, you're going to win late game anyways. If you get this early game to help you win some early rounds, you're not losing HP, it can be really good. Mountain Soul, if you're getting targeted as a defensive. Castle is actually pretty good. It swaps places with your allies, so if they have lots of assassins, you can spread away from your carry, so as they jump on your carry, you can then swap each other so that your carry's out of harm's way. The reroll tier, this one makes your abilities apply a burn, and the burns reduce your cooldowns. Not really good because you don't really want to go Leandri's Demonic on supports, but if there's nothing else you don't want to reroll, it's definitely playable. I forget which each of these 3 arcs, they got pretty similar, but one of them increases your CDR by 20% of your AP. You're not building much AP on support. Zanya's, again, you don't really want to Zanya's a lot of time because you're just going to die out of it, but it can be okay. And this one reduces your cooldowns. Every time you use a spell, you get more ability haste, but it resets between rounds. It's usually not very good. This one makes it as you're moving around, you're healing yourself. Enchanters already have enough ways to heal and shield yourself. It's okay. Airy Comet, it's okay. You got Airy. This one gives you extra healing when you're low HP. It's okay. Blitzcrank Hook, you probably shouldn't take this unless it's late game versus a comp that if you hook someone, you can win. This one makes it you heal yourself every time you cast a spell. It's whatever. A Thresh Lantern, it would be higher tier, but you can't really pick when the lantern and where it goes exactly, and it usually ends up being not used very well. Blue/red buff is meh. Anivia Wall if they have a bunch of immobile champions. Alright, for tanks, and this is full tanks Mundo and stuff, and tank supports just all in one little tier list. Let's start it. So the pick tier, Spirit Link, so that you take 40% of the damage your allies taking, and 40% of their healing is healing you instead. Pretty good because you're a tank and you can take the extra damage. This one makes it so that when you're on top of the enemy, it puts burn effect, and this burn is just crazy, and the longer you stay on them, the higher the burn stacks, and I'm pretty sure it stays on them for the rest of the round, so it's just disgusting. Goliath increases your HP by 35%. and increases your AP by 15%. Pretty good because tanks stack HP. This one refreshes your ultimate after use, which is really good because tanks have some of the best ultis in the game. This one, you trade some of your HP to shield your ally when your ally gets low HP. Pretty good because you're a tank and you have HP to spare. You get extra move speed based on double your ability haste. Tanks usually get a lot of ability haste, and they got an issue with being kited, so this helps. Banner command, you playing a tank with a carry, you can pop this when your carry is going in, so they do extra damage. This one, when you get low HP, you heal like 30% of your HP. Because of the fact that tanks have a big HP pool, healing 30% of your HP is really good. Tank it or leave it, just an amazing rune in general. And there's a new tank crit item that you should always take if you get this. This reduces the enemy's resistances, really good as a tank as you just go in there and amp it for your allies. And Contract Killer, if you aren't getting tired of me saying this, it's one of the best in the game. Mark an enemy to take extra damage, get you and your ally more gold so you can get early items quicker than the enemies, and Snowball. Scientific whatever or not, pretty good if you get the one that gives you extra HP and AP. It's pretty good. It's like a worse version of Goliath in that case, but the mini one gives you a lot of move speed and you can just run around like crazy. This one reduces the cooldown of your movement spells. Really good if you're playing someone, for instance, like Rel, and you can get your W mount up and mount down, 150 ability haste. Omni Soul, just pretty good in general. Exhaust, pretty good in general. This one makes it so that your heals and shields apply damage, I think, around you. Pretty good. This one makes it when you mobilize an enemy, you get a shield. Excuse me, hiccups. This gets a shield. 60 ability haste, not bad. This one honestly should probably be in pick. It's so good. And when you get low HP, you get an extra whatever percent of heal regen, but when you get below 25% HP, it's like insane. And on most of these tanks, when you get late game and you have a crap load of health, when you're below 25% HP, you still have like 3k HP, and you're healing more than the enemy can damage you, and they just can't kill you. Pretty nuts. This one makes it when you move around you're healing, pretty insane. Again, because you're always moving as a tank as you're getting kited. Black Shield helps you run the enemy down at the start of a round. The Juice, so you can power up your ally. Slowing effects reduce enemies' move speed by an extra 100. Most tanks have lots of slows, so it's pretty good. For instance, your window throwing a cleaver and they're getting an extra 100 move speed reduction. And this one, immobilizing enemies applies a burn indefinitely. Pretty good. This one, healing and shielding increases your target's magic resist and armor by a certain percent. I put this in here because if you consider Rakan and Thresh tanks, they have, heals and shields give allies. Quantum's pretty decent because it does a lot of damage, especially if you're playing someone who's like not a support tank, but like a tank like a Mundo or something. And as you're getting kited, when they're at the max range, this thing does damage if they're on the max range of it. Kind of like, it's like Camille's W, where if they're in close, it doesn't do much, but at the end, it does a lot. So if you're getting kited as a tank, this will shred the enemy. And if you're not getting kited as a tank, you're pretty happy anyways. Your abilities apply a burn, which reduces cooldowns. I don't know why I put this up here. This should be a reroll. It's pretty troll to take this. Blade Waltz, pretty good because it allows you to stick onto enemies. Once you get onto them, you can Blade Waltz to dodge. For instance, you're on a Morgana, she's about to bind, you Blade Waltz to dodge the bind so you can stick to them. Your auto attacks reduce your cooldowns by a second. Pretty good if you're on a support. For instance, Alistair, you WQ the enemy, and as you're getting ready to stack your E, you're autoing him, you hit the E, and now your WQ is like on a way lower cooldown. Your movement spells are reduced. No, that's this. This one makes your movement spells apply a freaking like Earthquake behind it that does a lot of damage. It's pretty good versus like Squishy comps as a tank with mobility. Vanish, I don't know why I put it in here. I probably put it lower. I don't think Vanish really helps that much for a tank, but if you want to Vanish and open up on someone, take that. Phase Rush is okay. Again, it just, Alistair is another classic example. You WQ the enemy, and as you're trying to hit your E auto attack stun, you get Phase Rush. Shrink Ray, pretty good. Auto attack the enemy, reduce their damage, especially playing a peel support. This Cannon, actually really good. It allows you to cannon anywhere onto the map, and you can catch your enemy off guard and close the distance at the very start and CC them. For instance, as a Mumu, as your carry gets in a position, you cannon yourself into position and hit them. That being said, I don't think I put the sled up here, but the sled should be up here for the same reasons. Damaging enemies marks them so your ally does more damage. Barrier / heal, it's pretty terrible, but if you want to take this because you're playing a support tank and you want to like, buff up your ally, help them out. The Blitz Hook, pretty fun because, as a tank support, you start moving to the enemy and you can end up hooking them in without you even have to use your glap close yet. Mythical, tanks actually have some of the best mythics in the game. I think they're one of the best with this. You can get Even Shroud, Radiant Virtue, Jock Show, Lockit, if I didn't say that, right? So pretty good. Ocean Soul just keeps you healing and keeps you up. This one makes it so after using abilities or immobilizing enemies or something, you get healed, pretty decent. After using a move speed ability, you get move speed. So kind of like in phase rush, you know, you use your Alistair WQ and you have move speed. Lantern can be okay. I'd probably put in reroll. Lantern's pretty not great. Infernal can be good if you're playing like a double tank comp and gives you that extra damage to be able to kill some squishies. If you're playing like Mundo with like a Cassante or something, I don't know. Mountain Soul, it's like, you know, it's okay, extra health. And Castle, if you're playing specifically like a tank support kind of thing with a carry, and you can, as your carries getting jumped on, you can swap each other's position, then CC them all. This one makes your ultimate make you go invincible. Most tanks don't really care because they're tanky. Using a movement ability increases your magic resistant armor by 15. Probably could go higher, but at the same time, like 15 magic resist armor on a tank who's stacking crap load doesn't really matter. This one is a kindred ult. Not very good because, you know, if you're using it on yourself at 1 HP tank, it's probably not going to matter. If you're using it to save an ally, it's probably not going to matter because they're just going to die out of it anyways. This one reduces your item cooldowns. Not too bad if you're going like Locket or something. This crit one is only good if you get the tank it or leave it, and then you can get this to increase your crit by 40%, and you just got a crap load of crit at that point. This one makes it so that you have 25% pen, you know, not really that good, but again, if you're playing like a double tank comp, or for instance, someone like Mundo, who's like cleavers do 25% of their max health is magic damage, and you can like get that pen. This one, every time you cast a spell, you heal. I should probably put this up. This one's actually pretty good, especially with this new meta going on where like tanks are going Moonstone. For instance, you can go like Thimble, Winter into Moonstone because every time you CC an enemy and shield yourself, you shield your ally. And then with this, every time you cast a spell, you heal, you know, 2% of your missing health. And then that also heals, whatever that heal is healing your ally. So pretty not bad. Reduce your health, give you 1,000 HP, reduce your damage by 10%. You don't usually want to take this. Losing damage by 10% is pretty bad. This is Evocation, which makes it so they can cast a heal out of combat. I think I meant this to be the one that gives you increase your health pool by half your mana. Again, if you're going like Thimble Winter, it's okay. Sonic Boom, healing or shielding your allies, does slow and damage around them. Again, like if you're Recon or Thresh. Execute, increase your damage on low HP targets. Again, like if you're going double tank, you could probably take it. Heal and shield power. This one knocks enemies back when they get low. You don't really want this on tank because you don't want to knock people off you usually because you're trying to kill them. Nivea Wall, you know, if they're mobiles. Never really take this. And this one makes it so every 7 seconds you root enemies around you by 1 second, but it's pretty unreliable. It doesn't really, usually it's going to root them when they're already CC'd by you and it just ends up being wasted. So it's meh. It's pretty low. All right, bruisers / fighters. I'm gonna be real to start this off. Full disclaimer, I do not play bruisers or fighters. So this is purely based off of statistics from blitz.gg / my own challenger intuition plus Twitch chat. I would ask questions with people who do play these roles. So this one, honestly, take it or leave it as it goes. Quantum computing. This one is super good on bruisers because again, it's if you're getting kited as a bruiser, you're hitting that big damage. And if you're not, you're doing damage. Goliath, increase your HP and ability. Your adaptive force, really good. This one, when you're on the enemy, it applies a stacking burn as long as you're on them. Blade Waltz, super good for these bruisers because it just does so much damage. It allows you to stick to enemies. Like if you're a Riven and you get onto the enemy, you combo them. And then as you're waiting for cooldowns to come up, you Blade Waltz. You're just hitting them and are targetable. And then you come out of that and you have your abilities back up. This one makes it so there's a 20% chance that your abilities can crit. Get that and get some crit items on bruisers and stuff can be pretty good. Movement speed based on double your ability haste. Pretty self-explanatory. Every time you use a movement spell, you get a stacking 15 armor magic resist stacking up. Pretty good because a lot of bruisers and stuff have a lot of movement. For instance, Lee Sin queuing in, using his W out, that stacks it twice. Riven Q, that's 3 stacks, right? 25% resistance shred, pretty good. Scope weapons, super good. It gives you 200 bonus range on melee champions. So, for instance, on a Trundle, I've gotten murdered by Trundles with this, like a full crit Chungle who's auto-attacking you almost from the range of an ADC. Tank it or leave it, super good. Again, if you get this, you should probably get some crit items because it just makes you unkillable. Contract Killer, as I say for everyone, just super top tier. Mark an enemy to take 10% more damage. If you kill them, you get bonus gold, allowing you to scale quicker and get items quicker than the enemy, meaning you can get an HP advantage to get to the late game easier. This one, hitting enemies applies a stacking armor magic resist shred. This one either gives you a lot of HP or adaptive force, which is super good, or it gives you a crap load of move speed and ability, power, haste, which is the really good one that makes you enemies can't get away from you. This one makes it so it reduces the cooldown of your movement spells by 150 ability haste. Super good. Your Lee Sin Q, imagine that with 150 ability haste. Imagine a Riven Q with 150 ability haste. Imagine a Fiora dash with 150 ability haste. Imagine every single dash in the game with 150 ability haste. All right, enough of that. Okay, Omni Soul, pretty good on everyone. I just put it there because it's just the 3 souls are just good. Exhaust and Ignite, super good if the enemies have heals and you need some anti-heal but don't want to build anti-heal. Slash also just makes it harder for you to get kited. This one makes you can cast ult twice, you know, depending on the champion. Some have really, really good ultimates. Some fighters have pretty meh ultimates, so. And this one, they always look the same. I always get confused. I'm pretty sure this is the one that makes it when you use a dash, it puts like a field of like earthquake that does a lot of damage. Pretty good. Does a lot of damage. It's actually insane. Like you ZW onto an enemy and then that earthquake comes in and takes out a chunk of their HP anyways. Probably should have put this down below. This one trades some of your HP to give an ally a shield. So if you're playing like a Bruiser, this would be more in like a comp where you're playing Bruiser plus carry. For instance, you can play ADCs with Bruisers, and your Bruiser gets this to keep your ADC alive if your ADC is getting targeted. Same thing with Banner Command, Bruiser plus carry comp. This one makes it when you get low HP, you heal a percent of your HP. Pretty good because Bruisers usually stack a lot of HP and also prone to getting killed because they're going in first. This one, as you're moving, you're healing. Pretty good because Bruisers are always moving. Auto attacks make the enemy do less damage. Brutalizer, really good usually on Bruisers because it's got the word brutalize and it's Bruiser. Yeah, it's pretty good. This one, Black Shield, makes it so that you can't get hit by spells and stuff. So at the very end, beginning of the game, you can rush the enemy and you can't get CC'd. This one just gives you healing as you're on the enemy. The Ocean Soul, not bad. This one, after you use a dash, you get movement speed. Probably could put up and pick. Like, it's pretty good if you're playing any sort. I mean, I put it down here because if you're not playing someone with a dash, but this shit's pretty good. This one I think gives you 10% bonus AD. Pretty good on AD stacking bruisers and fighters. And this one gives you fire, the Infernal Soul. Pretty good, just, you know, extra damage when you're diving squishies and stuff. It's quite significant. If you're trying to kill tanks, doesn't really matter. Soul Link or whatever, you take 40% of the damage your ally is taking and heal for 40% of the healing they're doing. You know, if you're playing with, again, a carry comp, not bad. Your abilities burn the enemy and reduce your cooldowns. I mean, it's not the best, to be honest. You probably reroll it, but at the same time, you know, if you have long cooldowns, you know, it's not bad. This one, it gives you a free level every round. Pretty good because of HP per level and resist per level, but you usually only want to take it early game, as you're not going to really get much stacking out of it if you get it late game. Your ultimate makes you go invincible. Depends if you're playing like a tanky Bruiser. You wouldn't really want it as much, but if you're playing like a squishy, more like fighter, like Lee Sin or Riven or something, it's not bad. This one converts your auto attacks, give you AP, and your spells give you AD. Pretty good if you're playing a champion has both AP and AD ratios. Your auto attacks reduce your cooldowns by a second, pretty self-explanatory. And your immobilizing effects give you a shield if you're playing someone who has lots of CC in their kit. Easy to land CC, not bad. Vanish, pretty good on bruisers and fighters. You can vanish and then open on an enemy in melee range and just one-shot them. Cannon, for the same reason as Vanish, you can use it to get a good angle and trap the enemy. This one, when you damage an enemy, your allies do more damage to the damaged enemy. This one makes it so that no one can die inside the zone. It's a kindred ult, and then you can try and kill them. Pretty okay on bruisers, because a lot of times they have like executes in their kit and stuff. So you can leave them at 1 HP and then finish them off out of it with like, you know, you're playing Riven, and at the last second you stun them until like kill them and you're still alive. 60%, 60 ability haste. You should probably take it. Usually good, actually. It's like, should be up a tier. Phase rush, you know, phase rush, pretty good. When you're low HP, you get a lot of health regen. Not really as good on fighters as much as it is like tanky bruisers. Your auto attacks apply a burn onto the enemy. Honestly, probably should just reroll. It's not that good. Blitzcrank hook, pretty good versus this lobby of squishy and mobile champions that you're trying to like gap close on. Every time you use an ability, you heal a bit. Pretty good on low cooldown bruisers. For instance, Trundle, whose Q is a low cooldown, and you can keep auto attack Q and you start healing a lot. Converts half your mana into HP. Pretty good if you're going, for instance, any fighters with mana immune or any of these kind of mana items. Give you and your ally a free juice every round. Warm up. If you can start the round by just warming up, get free damage, you can end up getting really strong really early. If you have AP ratios, this gives you 70 AP. Your slowing effects reduce their slows, their movement speed by an extra 100, so pretty good on any champions with slow effects. Mountain Soul, pretty good on squishy fighters. Bruisers, it's kind of meh. And this one, I don't remember what it is, but you know, it's aight. This one, actually, I think they're the same. I think it's this one and this one are the same thing. When you heal or shield an ally, it just like does damage and slow round. You know, most enchant bruisers and fighters aren't getting those. I don't even know why I put this in there. Conquer / lethal tempo. It's okay, but like this rune's pretty meh in this on every champion. Conquer and lethal tempo could use some love. Another one that's healing or shielding, you know, amps them. Again, I don't like Lee Sin W. Why did I even put this in here? Your ults, this one gives you Zanya's. Pretty meh. This is a boomerang that throws out, you know, it does damage, but it's not really helping you really do what you want to do as in a bruiser. It's just some damage. There's better things. Yeah, I don't even remember this one. I think this one's like converts 10% of your attack speed into AD, which, you know, if you're building like a Bruiser or something that builds attack speed can be okay. Your abilities apply on hit effects can be okay if you have like something like a Bork and like long range spells to hit enemies. Shield slash heal, bear slash heal. It's pretty terrible. That's why it's in the reroll. You should reroll, but you know, if you don't want to reroll, you got that. These crit ones, if you're building like a fighter like Trinity or something who goes crit, these can be good. Or if you get this blighted jewel, whatever thingy, or the tank it or leave it can be good. Reduces your item cooldowns. Most of the times on these bruisers and fighters, you're not really getting item cooldown abilities. Fleet slash grasp is just not very good on anyone in the game right now in general, so I put it down there. Blue and red buff is pretty bad on everyone also at the moment, so put it down here. I think this one's one that gives you 50% attack speed. It can be okay. Maybe it's like chance specific. This one, when you get low, it knocks enemies away from you. You usually don't really want to be doing that when you're playing, you know, bruisers because you want to stay on them. This one, every 4th auto does bonus damage. If you're playing an attack speed fighter, yeah. Don't remember what these are. It's pretty terrible though. And yeah. All right, and finally the assassin tier list. And again, I don't really play assassins or stuff. I usually play mages, ADCs, tanks, enchanters. So this is again based off just win rates on blitz.gg and talking to my Twitch chat about what they think. So take it or leave it. Quantum computing, as I've always said, it's really good because when they're long range, they're taking a lot of damage. And if you close the distance, it doesn't matter because you're happy in that case. Blade Waltz makes it so, again, you can use your full combo, then Blade Waltz to avoid their damage and CC while you wait for your cooldowns to come up again. And you come out of Blade Waltz and they're back up. This one, pretty good if you're using any assassins that like to use abilities and, you can get some crit and just roll with it. Move speed for ability haste. A lot of assassins get ability haste, and move speed is a really good stat on assassins because if you move faster than the enemy, it's pretty unplayable for them, especially if they're like an immobile caster or something. Vanish, pretty OP for assassins. Imagine you're an assassin, imagine you're a Fizz. You go vanish for 4 seconds and you open up in melee range of the enemy with a Fizz ult that they can't even dodge, pretty broken. 25% pen, pretty self-explanatory. Tank it or leave it, pretty good again if you got like any of these tank runes or you want to go tank or crit items. Crit rune. Want to go crit items? This one's just one of the best in the game. It just makes you super tanky with this alone. Just take it if you see it. Reduces enemy resistances. Executioners makes you do more damage to low HP targets, so pretty good. For instance, Zed, you ulti them, you do your combo, and then your ultimate pops for that extra damage. Contract killer, as I'm getting tired of saying this over and over again. Guys, listen, if you watch my other tier list, this shit is OP. Like, it marks an enemy to take extra 10% damage. Kill them, you get extra gold, which means you can snowball to early item advantages where you have an item on your opponents. Scientists, you're either getting bonus HP or ability adaptive force, which is good, or you're getting a lot of boost speed and ability haste, which is also good. Your movement spells have 150 ability haste, super good because a lot of assassins are based off their dashes. For instance, you Kha'Zix E in, and that E has a really low cooldowns. You can keep going. Omni Soul, just pretty good win rate and stuff on general. It's just really good on most champions. Goliath, health and ability, adaptive force. Who never liked that? Ultimate, you get 2 casts of your ultimate, so pretty good because most assassins have like ultimates that just kind of kill the enemy, and if you can cast it twice, it's like pretty nuts. Your dashes and stuff leave behind an earthquake, which does bonus damage, really good because you dash on the enemy and you just get extra damage. Your dashes and stuff give you stacking resistances, really good. For instance, like LeBlanc, who I put in here, or Ari, I put those as assassins. Ari, your ulti, you get 3 dashes, you just stack this up a crap ton, right? When you get low HP, you heal for % of your HP. Pretty good because assassins are usually pretty squishy and going into a situation where they're going to take a lot of damage. Moving around heals you because assassins usually have a lot of mobility. They can usually get a lot of healing out of this. 60 ability haste, pretty good because, ability haste. Black shield, really good because at the start of rounds of assassins, you want to run straight at the enemy and try to kill them, and this makes you can't be CC'd. Warm up, super good on assassins because you can, at the start of the round, cast it and get up to 24% bonus damage. So on an assassin who's already one-shotting the enemy, now you're one-shotting them harder. Your movement spells give you extra move speed for 2 seconds when you come out of it. Pretty good. Infernal Soul, pretty good, especially if you get an early game. It can allow you to snowball some early wins with assassins. This one I think gives you 10% bonus AD. Pretty good if you're playing an AD assassin. Mountain Soul, pretty good. This one makes it like LeBlanc W. After you use a dash, you can go back to it. So for instance, you can go in as assassin, blow your whole combo, and then go back to safety, and then wait for your cooldowns to come back up. This one, when you're on enemies, it applies a burn over time that stacks indefinitely. So as an assassin on your enemies, you can just do your combo, apply the burn, then try to leave and then let the burn them out. Exhaust / ignite, pretty good. You open on the enemy, you exhaust them so they can't move, they can't damage you back. To be honest, I should probably put this in usually good. Wisdom or whatever this is, only good if you get it really early game as it allows you to stack early levels and snowball. This one converts 20% of your AP as ability haste, if I do believe so, and it's pretty good if you're playing any AP assassins like Fizz or LeBlanc or Ari or Katarina. This one makes your ultimate makes you go invincible. Pretty good on specific assassins, as you can imagine. This one gives you Zanya's. Honestly, reroll. Zanya's is pretty terrible. You lose flee for it, and it's just not great. Your auto attacks reduce your cooldowns, so you know, not bad. Banner of Command, okay if you're playing like a double assassin comp and you can like banner command your other assassins, you're doing a lot of damage, or playing assassin with a carry or something. Brutalizer, pretty good for some early power spike and trying to snowball a bit. Shrink Ray, reduce the damage of the person you're auto-attacking, so, you know, you go into Assassin and ADC and you're also making that ADC dude 15% less damage to you, so they can't kill you. Scope Weapons, pretty good, just makes you have a really long attack range, so it's like hard for the enemy to really like get you off them because you're like attacking from far. The Cannon allows you to close the gap and get behind the enemy. This one makes it so that you get Kindred Ult pretty good, as Assassins usually have good execution, so you can get them low and then as the Kindred Ult's ending, you can just finish them off. Blitzcrank Hook can be okay versus like a lobby of immobile squishies and help you just get picks. This one increases your mana by your health by half your mana. Can be okay if you're going mana immune. Ocean Soul, you know, not very good because you don't really have poke. So like this is usually a better chance of poke. This one gives you free juice for you and your ally, not bad. This one I think knocks enemies away when you get low HP. I don't know why I put this here, to be honest. It's like usually you don't really want that because if you are trying to assassinate someone, then you knock them away from you and then you're on an ADC. You're both one auto from death, and then you knock him away and he auto attacks you in range. Doesn't sound, I don't know why I put that there. 70 AP, good for AP assassins. Slows reduce the enemy's move speed by an extra 100. Pretty good on any assassins who have slows. Tap Dancer, your auto attacks increase your move speed, stacking up infinitely and give you, you know. You don't really auto attack that much as assassins. You're usually going for a one burst combo and out. This is for people who want to auto attack over and over again and stack it. Your abilities give you AD, your auto attacks give you AP. Good if you're playing anyone who has both AP and AD ratios, for instance, Katarina. This one, when you immobilize an enemy, you get a shield. Most assassins don't really have immobilizes, but can be okay. Boomerang is pretty meh. It kind of gives away when you're flanking to where you're coming from. This one trades some of your HP to an ally. If you're playing an assassin, but you know you're not the kill target. Like, for instance, you're playing an assassin with an AD carry, and you're like hiding and letting them engage on your AD carry, and then coming in after to kill them, and then you can give your AD carry that shield. Your abilities apply on hit effects every 1 second. Can be good if you're going like an assassin with Bork or something. Heal/bear, not really that great. Phase Rush could probably go up. Phase Rush isn't bad. On these crit augments, if you're going any ADCs with assassins that are building some crit, or if you got any of these crit augments up here, can be good. Every 4th auto does bonus damage, as assassins aren't autoing that much usually. Red buff/blue buff is pretty meh. And this one makes it so every 7 seconds you root AoE around you. It's pretty meh. Also, most of the times assassins don't have a hard time sticking to their opponents. It's meh. But yes, if you guys enjoyed this YouTube video, make sure you comment, subscribe,